Hello and welcome to Khan Smash, your one-stop shop for all things PlayStation. If it's PlayStation you're after, hit subscribe to stay updated on all the major updates to PS5 that other channels might miss out on. What should we talk about today then? A video about Konami? Boo! Wait, a video about Metal Gear Solid? Yes! Best video game of all time, Metal Gear Solid 1. But let's talk about the 5 things we need from the possible PS5 exclusive remake. There are rumours suggesting that it will happen on PS5, and let's hop aboard and discuss what's essential for this. Numero uno, and this is a big one. Konami need to leave this well alone. Legit, they ruined Metal Gear Solid 5 with the incomplete release, the non-existent final mission. Whatever the hell this was, bloody pachinko? Firing one of the best game directors of all time. Killing this masterpiece before it even began? Ugh, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Please, 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 Konami, just leave it alone. Give it off to an independent developer. Let them use the Fox engine by all means. And please, that's all from you, Konami. If there's anything the Snyder movement has taught us, it's that big corporations just leave the art to the artists. Moving on, the biggest thing I really want from this is the nostalgia factor of playing as Solid Snake and fighting off the devils of Foxhound. I think one of the best ways to bring this back is to bring in the original talent. 1,000,000% we need David Hayter back on board as our one and only hero. We then need the same voices for Colonel Campbell, Meryl, Articon, Arcelot, etc. This will be huge and it'll really help reunite the fanbase and bring back something magical. Think about how big a deal it was to bring back John Marston, Dutch and the gang when they did Red Dead 2. This level of detail needs to be brought back to Metal Gear, please. Point 3, we really need to stay clear of any open world nonsense. In my opinion, and it might be an unpopular one, but I think Metal Gear Solid 5 truly failed because of its open world focus. The game spent so much time where the player was out of the story and out of the gameplay, wandering around on an empty desert or an empty mother base, or God forbid it happening again. Those ridiculous, unstoppable helicopter cutscenes. I mean, bruv, come on, man. Who thought it was a good idea to have us select missions from a screen, then sit and watch a minimum 3-minute video of Snake being transported to his destination, which is at least another 3 minutes away from the actual destination where we actually need to go to. I know this was done to give the player options of attack, kinda like Hitman, but the funny thing is, this was already always a staple of Metal Gear Solid games. Just look at the boss fight against the end in Metal Gear Solid 3. You didn't need an open world to change how you attack this, you just chose what you wanted to do, whether it was stealth and sneak up on him, go guns blazing and try and out-snipe him, or whether it was just wait for him to die, because that was actually a tactic. So my penultimate point, and this one definitely more of a wishlist suggestion than anything else, but hey, Metal Gear Solid 1 was around 12 hours long, which is not much for a AAA game nowadays. Can we just merge Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 together in one big installment? So hear me out on this one. Metal Gear Solid 2 is very closely linked with its predecessor, and the game is of similar length too. Imagine we get a 30-hour game with both Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 on board. I mean, a lot of the voice actors are the same, and it would be massive for gamers to play both games in one installment. Now I must admit it's highly unlikely to happen. Mainly from a financial perspective, it just makes more sense to sell one game now and then sell the sequel next year, especially if they do a great job with the first one. I mean, we saw this with Resident Evil 2 and RE3 remakes that hit shelves last year and this year. Still though, let's float the idea out there, get the positive energy going, so you might see this happen. Although, let's face it, probability is low. The last point for today, please, whoever builds this, just keep the integrity of the game and don't be scared to experiment. What we all fell in love with about this game was how it was ludicrously different and the features were super out of the box. Like, my god, the puzzles and complex scenarios that we found ourselves in were challenging and super interesting, different to anything else in any other game. That fight against Psycho Mantis from Metal Gear Solid 1 made us feel like Arnie when we realised the mud masked him against the Predator. For those who need reminding, or who haven't seen it, I'm referring to a battle against a foe who can read your mind, bruv. Like seriously, from reading your other saves on your memory card, Psycho Mantis could dodge everything you threw at him because he knew what buttons you were going to click. Eventually you're told over the codec that actually swapping controller ports will stop him from reading your mind. And I mean, man, once you did this, everything you did hit, and you can rise up and start the whoop-ass on Psycho Mantis. This feeling stuck with me 20 years on, and this is what I need to be emulated again for the remake in some way. So please feel free to experiment, but just keep the integrity there. Right, so I've listed my 5 must-haves, but honestly, please just make us feel like the ultimate action hero once again. That's all for today. If you liked the video, do drop a like, and if you really like the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because we're on our way to 200 subscribers. See ya!